Tiger fans, welcome to episode 251 of the official Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club podcast, bringing you all the latest news, updates, and buzz surrounding your mighty JSU Tigers. I am the Corey C. Make sure you download and subscribe to the podcast to be notified of all future episodes. Apple Podcast and Spotify listeners, rate and review the show, and everyone. Follow Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club on Facebook and Tiger Talk 1400 on Instagram and Twitter. It all helps the cause, which is the I love Jackson State University. And hosting today's show is Ken Clark.
Welcome back to another episode of Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. It's your favorite podcast host, Ken Clark. And today we got a special guest joining me today. He's a 2022 Preseason All-SWAC selection, one of 8 JSU Tigers that made that selection for the All-SWAC team here in 2022. We got Mr. Devonta Davis in the building. What's going on, brother? Welcome to Tiger Talk.
How you doing?
What's going on, man? How's everything going with you, man, in the off season? How's the conditioning? How's the we've been seeing all the videos and everything. You got to come to us and give it to us how you see it.
I see it like it preparing us for a lot. Like it's preparing us for the season. And going to fall camp, I feel like we're ready to attack it.
Man, you know they're gonna be gunning for us, man. Everybody saw that, you know, they saw what we did in 2021, and everybody got Jackson State circled on their schedule, man. So y'all boys, it look like y'all ready. I hope y'all ready. I'm saying 13-0. What you saying, man? What you think?
13-0. We're saying 13-0.
Yeah, man. You can't, you know, I put that out there, but then if they're gonna come after me if we not. So I don't mind it. You know, we gonna keep talking. We gonna keep doing it. We don't mind being the hunted, man. We're gonna do some hunting too, though. So, but anyway, let's jump right into it, man. Tell our listeners and all those that are tuned in, you know, what your classification is, and so, you know, is this your last year at Jackson State?
Now I graduated in the spring, but I have 3 more seasons. So
oh man,
I'm a sophomore on the field. Last year was my first year on the field.
Wow.
So
you gotta explain that to me, man. So hold on. So you graduate in the spring, or you just graduated this past spring?
No, I graduate this spring coming up.
Okay, so spring 2023, you're gonna walk that stage, and you still got how many seasons left? Because you know COVID has kind of changed it for a lot of us, man, with like classifications and how many seasons you got eligible. So you'll be able to play this year, and then after this year, how many years of football would you have left?
I have 2 more seasons. After this year.
Man, you just got me excited. Cause see, I thought this was it, man. I thought this was it for us, man. Oh man, so you got 2 years after this. That's outstanding, man. So, well, I tell you what, since you graduate in April, and I say April's my birthday, but spring 2023. What's your major, man? What are you majoring in right now?
My major, business accounting.
Business accounting. So that sounds like my major. So I was actually in accounting, and then I wound up changing it when I got to my junior year, and I wound up going into business management. So I had to get out of that accounting, you know. So you said business accounting or business? So you trying to go?
Business accounting.
So you want to be a CPA? You want to be what you trying to be when you get done with football, man?
Really like a bank teller, or have my own business to where like I can manage more money that's coming in throughout a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's what's up, man. I mean, I know you got NFL aspirations, and that's primary. I think you got a really good chance, man, especially with all the eyes that's going to be on the program, and you know, you really made your I would say your small splash in 2021. You know, you did enough to get on the All-SWAC team, but see, now you got to expand because now the expectations are there. You know, you got to tell us how it feels to be named to the conference preseason All-SWAC team. Tell us what that means to you.
It mean a lot, to be honest. I ain't expect it because the certain amount of game that I missed, but last year. But then again, it making me want to work harder because I got another thing that I'm aiming for, and it's not just preseason All-SWAC. I'm going for a defensive player of the year. So
that's what I'm talking about. I see that now you got something to shoot for, man. No, I mean you make a good point. I mean, and I'm not saying this because I'm interviewing you, Devonta. I actually reached out to you personally because you're one of my favorite players on the team. Because what I liked about what you did was, you played last year. Obviously, James Houston, Antoine Owens was more. I would say they started most of the season at the D line position. But when you came in, you jumped off the screen, man. You had multiple tackles for loss. You had a few sacks, and it was like when you have that time. One of the things about being at Jackson State is the depth. We got a lot of depth, and I'm pretty sure you can speak a little bit more to that. So when you kind of got those minutes and you got that time in the game, you knew when you got in there, I got to make something happen. And I think that's the thing that really stood out to the conference, and that's why they put you on the team, man. What'd you think about that?
Most definitely, it was just in time and a matter of when my name being called, I have to be ready. So when my coach put me in, he gave me a shot at it. I had to show him that I can ball in order to keep on playing. It wasn't nothing finna be given to you, and I knew it just because just how I work, nothing to given to you in life.
Absolutely. And we mentioned two of your previous teammates, man. Shout out to James Houston. He was selected by the Detroit Lions in the 6th round in this past year's NFL draft. And even Antoine Owens, man, we saw him playing for in the USFL, the Philadelphia Stars this spring. Got to the championship game, came up a little short towards the end. I had a chance to check him out. And shout out to them, So with that being said, how does seeing your former teammates, get to that next level motivate you to get to the next level?
In my mind, it's a big motivation because, we were all close.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the D line communicated. We were all close, and seeing them get to that next level, it puts me even it have a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
So they can do it. I know I can do it for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And speaking of, you got a D-line coach and Coach Jeff Weeks and a defensive coordinator, Coach Dennis Thurman, who got pretty extensive NFL resumes. What is it like playing under such highly reputable coaches?
It really feels good. They push me to they know to where I'm gonna be that guy on the defensive line. They tell me every day that I'm not coming out of the game. I gotta get that in my mind that I'm not coming out the game.
There you go.
So when he told me that, it just put a motive in me even more to go get it.
Right. No, that's what you want to hear, man. I didn't play football in college. I played a little basketball, but like you said, man, anytime your coaches give you that the greatest endorsement, like I said, it makes you want to go out there and almost run through a wall for them. Now in coaches, we can't mention the title coach without mentioning Coach Prime, man. You know what I'm saying? You've been one, but this is what I wanted to kind of get into, Devonta, and this is why I wanted to talk to you, because you were one of the few players left over from the previous regime. A lot of the Tigers that we have on the team now, they come in under Coach Prime and his staff recruiting them. You was under the previous regime. Speak to us how, things have changed from your perspective from the time you first arrived as a freshman on campus at Jackson State up until today, in your own words.
A lot have changed from the way we'll go, the weight room, to the way how we attack the field.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely, certain stuff he just brought up out of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And now, since from my freshman year, I remember I used to always walk out there doing when they used to practice, because I couldn't practice. Mm-hmm. I couldn't go around the team. So I remember I used to sit up on the little tin shed that they had on the sideline on the track.
Yeah.
I used to sit there, and I just used to watch them. And I forgot his name. It was this older guy, but he always used to tell me, he used to say, you gonna be out there one day, and when you get out there, you make the best of it.
Yeah.
And And he been just keeping track of me everywhere I go, everything I do. And when that time came, like when that spring season came, and I told him I was on the field, I ain't too much playing that spring season, but I practiced hard because something had happened. But when the fall season came, I put that aside, and I told myself that I was gonna go get it. And I had to, like, I caught Coach Prime eye just to see, like, how he seen how I work, and he seen that I have a motor. Mm-hmm. So I caught his eye. He called me in his office one day, and he was telling me how great I can be if I just put aside all the little things. Mm-hmm. So when I really listened to him and just started putting away the little thing, that pushed that motor. Like, I want to talk to linemen here now. So
there you go. You know, that's right from the horse's mouth, man. I mean, my next question was going to be you kind of breaking down how you went from kind of being a spectator over to a more prominent role on the D-line. I think you just kind of explained that. I guess the next thing would be, you know, now that you have that, you know, that moment, you get to seize the moment, right? And are there ever any moments, you know, we get to see a lot of we get more footage now from Jackson State football than we've ever gotten. You know, I'm a lifetime fan. I'm an alum. I grew up in Jackson, born and raised, and to get this much coverage of Jackson State, you know, where there's a lot of cameras, there's a lot of eyes, there's a lot of people tuned into the program. Is there ever a moment where you feel like the cameras and the eyes are too much, or is it overwhelming at any time?
No, I don't, because I feel like the more the cameras is, the more exposure gonna be out. So that means the more we'll have to produce, the more we'll have to hunt and grind, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. You feel it'll be able to prepare you for that next level, you know, because once you get to that next level is the NFL. It's TV time. It's money time at that point. You think what Coach Prime has put in place, we saw on his on the Coach Prime docu-series where there was some player training with interviews and teaching some of the players how to orate and speak in front of the camera. I mean, that was just refreshing for us to see. But do you think that all that you're experiencing will prepare you for that next level?
Most definitely. Yes, sir, it will. Because when you get to the next level, it's not going to be, you most definitely going to be around cameras all day. Mm-hmm. From when you train, going to training camp, mm-hmm. and especially on the field, it's going to be cameras around. So I feel like that's most definitely preparing me for the next level.
Sweet. So for you, how has this offseason been in particular for you? You know, speak to us a little bit about some of the things that you wanted to personally improve upon from last season up into this season. What are some things you really wanted to get better at?
Getting stronger, mm-hmm. most definitely. That was the first thing. Getting my speed. I had the speed, but I wanted to get faster. So with that being said, when we do our running, I don't run with the D linemen. I run with like the linebackers and the edge rush.
Nice.
So like if I keep up with them, like there's no other lineman in the SWAC there keep up with me.
I like that. You know, projecting and thinking ahead. That's smart, man. That's how you do it. Because you know if you can get with the jokers that's supposed to be faster than you, see, you can push them and apply a little pressure to them because they don't want the D linemen outdoing them because then you're going to show them up. So that's going to make them work harder. And then, like I said, you pushing yourself to a different height. That's smart. I like that a lot, man, you know. So, you know, with that being said, you know, you guys got a new strength and conditioning coach. You know, like I said, you've been here for a few years. Coach Mo Sims, have you seen a big difference in the offseason preparation versus the previous years? You know, speak to about what you've taken from Coach Mo Sims in the time that he's been here with you versus what you've experienced previously.
Okay. So now when I first got here, Coach Med, the way he pushed the team. But like last year, it was just kind of the strength condition coach was trying to be cool with everyone. And the thing I like about Coach Mo, it just he'll tell you in the locker room, like, I remember I caught a cramp. I think we were stretching. I caught a cramp. He looked at me and said, "Nobody cares." So at that time, he really looked at me and said, "Nobody cares." So at that time, I just knew that he's a good strength and condition coach, and he gonna push you to the point. He gonna push you because he wants you to be great.
Yeah.
And then he'll tell you himself that if you don't see it, nobody will see it. So when he told me that nobody cared, I just had to fight that cramp out and script. It was at the end of weight lift. And it was just like that. When he said that, I said, yeah, he gonna get me right. He gonna get me right.
I like that. Man, we also, saw something that, man, we ain't seen in a long time. Maybe it had happened in the past, but just us as fans and supporters of the program, man, we saw y'all hitting them stairs at that vet, man. Now the vet is big. For those that don't know, we talking 60,000+. We always talking about the stadium, but boy, when we saw y'all running them stadium, hey, listen, a walk from the parking lot to your seat is already enough walking if you ain't, in conditioning, decent conditioning, right? So tell us a little bit about your experience. How you feel, man? How you feel about them stairs at that vet, man? Talk to us about it.
For the first time that we ran it, they wanted to see who go not pass out, but give up.
Yeah.
They wanted to see who gonna give up.
Yeah.
And for my first time running those bleachers, I ain't give up at all. I think on the last one, I couldn't go up because my quad caught a cramp. But I still finished. Finished. But it's worth it. I feel like it's worth it a lot.
Man, I ain't no anatomy expert, but when you say quad, that's the front side of your thighs right there. That's right above your knees. If you caught a cramp in your quads, man, you was doing some hauling. You get what I'm saying? You was doing some running. Usually when people catch cramps is either in the calf, maybe in the hamstring area, you know what I mean, a foot, but you caught them in your quads. Woo!
Yeah, my quad.
Man, that was intense.
Everybody can say when we got done with them bleachers or with the stadium, we came back, we was on the bus, we came back, nobody was talking. Everybody laid out. Like everybody. We got out the bus, folks saying they legs shaking. Like 2 days after we come back to practice, they was like, bro, my legs still hurt. I was like, man, it gonna help. It gonna help us in the long run.
Absolutely. I think we saw a clip previously of Coach Tim Brewster. He come on the show. He was actually our first video show that we did for the podcast, and shout out to Coach Brew. But like he said in that clip, he said, listen, you win the game. This is where the game is won, right here at practice, man. It ain't won when you get to the game. You got to go execute, but that conditioning is the thing that's going to separate the good from the great, and it's going to, that's how you finish. And we'll leave it at finish because we're going to get into something in a minute in regard to that word finish. But before we do that, with all the conditioning you've done this offseason, what are your current measurables? What's your height and weight for those that are into those type of metrics?
I'm 6'2", 295. I haven't did my 40 yet, but it gonna be good.
Yeah, we see a 4-some, huh?
Yeah, 4'7", 4'6", around there.
Ooh, so you moving? That's what you're saying, huh? I like it. I like it. So the reality of the matter is you got to be able to get from sideline. You got to be able to hit them trenches, get to the ball from sideline to sideline, man. So I'm going to be looking, man. I'm looking for 97 out there. For those that don't know, he was number 97. So we got to see how fast 97 is getting from one side of the field to the other. And I know you're going to do your thing, man. But more importantly, man, get to the quarterback. I like sacks.
Oh.
I like them sacks, man, and tackles for losses. That's where you make that's where you make your money at, right?
I aim for 12.
12?
12 this season.
Okay,
12.
that's doable. That's doable. I believe you can do it. Coach Prime made a statement over at the SWAC Media Day. He said, we got, people, we're going to miss James Houston. James, the problem Houston. And he's like, we got 4 of them this year. We got four players that he feel that could really get to the quarterback and make some noise in that backfield, man. So that's exciting for those of us that are looking forward to the dark side defense, man. Right? Now.
Yes, sir.
Now that we said that, we got to dive right into the obvious. We talked about finishing. We want to mention the Celebration Bowl loss to South Carolina State. It was painful. You hear me? It was painful. I was right there in Atlanta. That was a tough one. But what I want to ask you, though, is what is your overall thoughts of the Celebration Bowl experience and the outcome? How did that – give us your take on that.
I feel as like much as we wasn't clicked in together and focused as a team.
Okay.
So with the first drive when they went down and we 4 and out of them and they came back and made us turn over the ball and they scored. Then we came back and scored. But when they just scored 2 more times, I feel like our team we ain't give up, but we just held our head low.
Okay.
For some reason. But that's what I feel like mostly. Like we wasn't all focused on like that game. And it's a couple more players feel the same way. But this year it's gonna be totally different.
I believe it. Let me ask you this though, and this is something that just you made me think about. So do you feel like winning the SWAC might have made some of the players satisfied? Because, once you win that chip, I know there's a chance to get to that next level you got to win to get to the Celebration Bowl. Do you think maybe there was some, I would say, for lack of better terms, maybe some satisfaction that had occurred with that SWAC championship so that once we get down, we kind of,
I feel like for some of the old players that been here since like for a minute, I feel like that was a satisfaction to them because, they've been a minute since Jackson State won the SWAC title.
Right.
And to go down there in Atlanta, I mean, it's a big moment. Mm-hmm. And I guess everybody wasn't ready for that big of a moment.
Okay. That's respectable. But one last thing in regards to the Celebration Bowl. We knew how Coach Prime has answered that question, but I wanted to take, more of a player's perspective. Have any of your teammates use that, any of your returning teammates use that loss in the Celebration Bowl, you think, as motivation into the offseason? Because, you finished the season with a bad taste in your mouth. Do you see that bad taste is kind of use that for some fuel? Because, the great ones always say they look for something to motivate them. Every day they're trying to get better, 1% every day, right?
Yes.
Speak to us 2%. A little bit about maybe what 2%. Hey, I like that. Keep going. Go ahead and speak on it.
2% better. Like if you get 1% better, that means you just coasting through the day. When you get 2% better, you leaving it all on the field and most stuff.
You know what? You just helped me in my professional life, man. I'm gonna take that to work tomorrow. Instead of trying to be 1% better than yesterday, because now if I've been getting 1% better every day, it sounds like to me it's just business as usual. But if I go 2%, that's a little bit okay. I like that. See?
A little bit overboard.
Yeah. See, I appreciate that. But anyway, moving on. We gonna flush 2021 down the drain, and we're gonna get on. We getting ready for the 2022 season. We're right about a month away from our first game to that much anticipated rematch with FAMU down in Miami, the Orange Blossom Classic. They've been talking about recruiting. They talked about we only beat them by 1 point. They felt like they could have beat us at the end of it. If we'd have played that game at the end of the season, we would have got them. Whole lot of smack talking, right? Tell us in your own words, man, what's your thoughts about that particular matchup with FAMU this season?
To me and my teammates, I feel like it's going to be totally different. Like, the defense especially aiming for them not to score. That's everybody in the season.
I like that.
So when we aiming for that, we go by me being like a team leader and like one of the captains on the defense, it just everybody got to come together and know their role in the game and know what they're doing.
Right.
So if everybody doing that and the defense flying to the ball, I don't think they'll score.
I like that. I mean, we held them to just 6 points. They didn't score a touchdown in 2021. So I want them to lead with a goose egg. I tell everybody JSU by 2 tugs. At first I said 21, but I'm like, you know what? I'll be nice. I'll say JSU by 2 tugs. But based off that sounds like a 14-0 win based off of your assessment of the game. But you know what? Let Zoe tell it. You know, Zoe's our other podcast compadre. Zoe said we're gonna put 40 on them. My thing was, I said this going into last season. I was like, I don't care if we win by 1 point, just win. That was my mentality because this was the first game of the season, full season under Coach Prime. And when we won by 1, I was like, all right, I'll take it. Whatever. But I like your mentality. You guys had, I want to say the defense averaged, not counting that South Carolina State game, I think going into that game, we finished the season right around 14 points a game that we had given up for the year, which is phenomenal. So, you know, you guys having a goal of getting better than that, you know, is just even better, man. We love it. We love to see. We want to see a lot of goose eggs this year on the opposing team. That's what we hope for. But outside of that game, are there any other games on this 2022 season that you might got circled or that you're looking forward to playing in?
I'm really looking forward to playing all of them, but October the 8th.
See,
I'll be down there.
See, you ain't. Go ahead. I already knew. I knew you was gonna say it. Go ahead.
Okay, that's where I'm from, Montgomery, Alabama. Okay, and there's like a lot of folks from my city and from my surrounding area. Matter of fact, my cousin played running back, and he texted me this morning about it was like somebody made a post and said, did them boys really scared of JSU for homecoming? They were like, they got to be a fool after we did what we did to A&M.
Yeah.
So he got on the post and said, it was like, oh, you must have seen when they came down here that spring season. So I had to tell him, he know that spring season was a fluke. That wasn't, you feel me? We was looking at what we got. So he was like, we got to see what goes on when we come down there. So it's going to be a good game just because we both from, like, it's our area, and just because we both on the field, it's going to be fun, most definitely.
Yeah. Man, you know, for our listeners and those that are tuned in, you know, like Devonta stated, from, you know, hometown Union Springs, if you know about Alabama, that's right down the street from Alabama State. You know, he's right in their backyard. And listen, last time a school scheduled Jackson State for their homecoming in Alabama, it was a shellacking. That's all I'm going to say. 61-15 to be exact. Alabama A&M, but we ain't going to say no names. But listen, I thought that was so one thing I will say, you know, I'm gonna mention Zoe again. Like I said, he's my partner in crime with the podcast. He had a chance to go to that game, Devonta, when we played in the spring, and he talked about how rowdy that game was. He gave kudos to the Alabama State student section, because, you know, there's that video when we walked down. I think the team walked down in the tunnel and they got rowdy. Y'all was pumped up. Yeah. And that was hype. I watched that video a lot, man. I love them uniforms, man. I love the uniforms, the way they had I think we rocked the white helmet, white jersey, red pants, I think, that game. Yeah, that was fly. But I felt like we had control of that game up until we let Ezra Gray break loose on a couple of runs, man. That was just heartbreakers. And outside of that, you know, but we moving right along, man. It's gonna be a different story when we come back to the Gump. You know, for although they gonna talk that smack, man. It is what it is. But anyway, but we're gonna keep it right over in Alabama. You know, that won't be the only game that you'll get to play in your home state. You know, you get to play down in Mobile this year. We're gonna go and play Alabama A&M down at the Gulf Coast Classic down in Mobile. It's only about a 3-hour journey from from your hometown, man, and I'm pretty sure your family get a chance to come down there and see you as well. What you think about that game playing down there in Mobile?
So this would be my first game. That'll be my first time playing in Mobile, in life.
Nice.
So I feel like, and at that stadium, you got to get used to the stadium as you going in. But I feel like they're gonna be a game that we looking forward to playing just because it's in Mobile and we're gonna have fun. You gotta be safe though.
I'm looking forward to that game. Shout out to one of our Hall of Famers, Dr. Doom, Robert Brazil. He's from Mobile, Alabama. Might have had something to do with getting that game played out there, and I think that you're going to see Jackson State very well represented with our alumni chapter down there in Mobile. That's going to be really putting on a showcase for that game. So, I would have rather played it in Jackson, but whatever. We're going to roll right along with it, go down in Mobile, do what we come to do. Matter of fact, it's going to be Jackson Mobile. Jackson, what we call it? Jackson South. We're going to take over Mobile, man, and we're going to go down there and try to dominate Alabama and them again. But anyway, in regards to your family, I'm sure they're going to make as many games as they can. But even if they are not able to, man, Jackson State, after SWAC Media Day, we saw that Jackson State is going to have 10 games on TV this season. And I expect that Tennessee State game in the Southern Heritage Classic to be on somebody's TV as well. But when you got that kind of eyes, you got people from all over the world watching you, how does that make you feel that that you're going to be on somebody's TV every single Saturday that you suit up for them Tigers this year?
It really made me feel good just because I'm not used to playing on TV. Like, my high school, we didn't play on TV. Only time you seen us on TV was if it was on the news or it was a recap of our homecoming. Yeah. And our homecoming was kind of big. So by me playing on TV, that would mean a lot. Like, folks used to snap me every Saturday. Oh boy, I see you. So yeah. And I had this quote on my locker. It was last year I put it up there. It said, "Mama, your boy on TV now." So when I sent her that and she can be able to watch the game, that's a win for me.
There you go.
But I want to do it even more.
Man, I tell you, you know what? Well, we're going to say it like this. Since we said we're going to go 13-0, we're going to have 13 games on TV this year. We're going to get the SWAC championship game on TV, which is going to be on ESPN again. And then we're going to get the Celebration Bowl on TV again. So, man, look, all of them going to be on TV. So that's pretty impressive, man. So shout out to everybody that, had a hand in making that happen. I'm excited about it. And definitely, I hope to be at as many games as I possibly can. So my goal is to be in person. May not make every single one of them, but if I get to 12 and not 13, I'm happy with that. But anywho, we always like to ask players whenever we bring them on the show for player comparisons, and who they may pattern their game after. I wanted to ask you, which NFL player, current or past, would you say that you resemble in your game the most?
And
the GOAT.
The other day in practice, I told them, I said, when that big time play come, y'all remember that little thing Aaron Donald did at the end, when he went to point at his finger?
Yes, sir.
I told him, they're going to be me. And I got this quote to where, when Curry did it, and then when Aaron Donald did it, I got this picture in front of my phone where they both did it, and they're going to be I'm going to be the third to do it.
Hey, because you took the words out of my mouth, man. When you said Aaron Donald, I was like, a lot of people think that Curry was the one that come up with that. Now he did it in the third quarter when they had a comfortable lead, and that's pretty bold. But when Aaron Donald made that play, oh man, I feel like he should have. Now let me say it this way: Cooper Kupp had a phenomenal game in the Super Bowl. A lot of people felt like Aaron Donald should have got MVP though. Because if you go back and look at that play, Joe Burrow had a wide open wide receiver, but he didn't have time to throw it to him because he checked. I think he checked at the line, and the DB slipped. I think Jalen Ramsey slipped. It might have been Jalen Ramsey, but whoever was checking, he slipped. And Burrow missed him because Aaron Donald was. Hey, he got back there, man. He got back there. And when he sacked him, hey, he was like, "Ring me, ring me, baby." But I don't know if you've seen that ring, man. That thing was woo. Hey, man, you know.
On the side of his ring, it say it got his name, then it got DC or something like that up under it. But it's hard. It's hard.
That's what's up, man. Well, look, as we get ready to close this out, you know, I'm pretty sure you've already said it already, but I want to close it out with asking you a couple of questions. What is your expectation for your realistic expectation for the 2022 season?
Okay. Stay injury free.
Okay.
Produce as like be a good teammate to where I'm not just trying to be all like not just being in the play, but I'm gonna be around the play, making sure all the defensive line knows what they got going on and knows what they're doing. Being a better spokesperson to like where on the field, I'm talking a little bit more than last year.
Okay.
And I'm shooting for a defensive player of the year.
I like that, man. That's definitely a doable goal. I know there's going to be a lot coming for it. You know, you got a teammate that's back on the second level back there that's going to have hopefully we can get a loose cannon, Aubrey Miller, on the show. I know he going to try to have a word in that. I know you got Travis Hunter over there going to probably try to have a word. Old Nugget Warren. Cam, you know, we got a whole slew of we got a rock star defensive core, man, that any one of you guys could get it. But you know, from a fan and an alum standpoint, as long as somebody get it from Jackson State, I'm satisfied. But since you over on here and you want it and you claimed it, speak it, walk in it, go get it, and it's all yours, man. So, you know, my next question was going to be if you had some personal goals, but I think you just kind of showed us and told us exactly what that is for you. But before we get out of here, we always, you know, we want our listeners to try to get to know you a little better. So I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions. Ain't nothing to do with football, just trying to get your personality. First one up, man. Best rapper ever. Give me your best rapper, man. Who you got?
My best rapper, Big Ava. Nobody, I don't care what nobody say, Big Ava.
Wow. Okay. I ain't see that one coming. GOAT in the GOAT conversation.
Normally, folks say, Lil Baby. I ain't gonna knock Lil Baby. He really hard. But me personally, my playlist, that's one of my playlists based off of Big Ava.
Okay. Well, you heard it. You heard it from Devonta himself. That's who he got as the top rapper in the game. All right. Let's say the GOAT conversation. LeBron or MJ?
MJ. Most definitely.
Ain't no wrong answer, man. Now here's the interesting thing about that question. MJ is the reason I started playing basketball, but LeBron is my favorite player of all time. So I look at him as 1A, 1B, and I always get trolled about LeBron. Now I love LeBron, but I also love MJ. So I don't compare them, but I always got to ask that question.
Yeah, I don't compare him either, but I feel like what MJ did, both of them doing great things.
Yeah,
both of them doing great things. So what MJ did and what LeBron doing now, it just you can't discompare them. Like it's a good comparison with both of them.
Look like you froze up on.
A screen freeze.
Looked like he froze up a little bit, so we're gonna wait for him to rejoin the show. We're getting right towards the end of it, and we'll finish out our last few rapid fire questions, and then we'll close it out. Anytime you're dealing with technology, man, you always got to make sure your connections are strong. It looks like he in the dorm, so we know how them school Wi-Fi's could be, but it's all good. We're gonna hang tight, and we're gonna let him join back in, and we'll finish up. Stay tuned. You back?
Yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead.
Let's
go ahead and finish.
All right, you can go ahead. I think we were talking about
the comparison, MJ and
yeah.
You can't too much compare those because they both doing great things and they both did great things. So I don't think you can compare those.
All good, man. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and close it out. Again, we appreciate you for joining us, Devonta. Before we close it out, go ahead and give our listeners your social media so they can follow you.
On my Instagram is Devonta D97. My Twitter, Devonta Davis 8. And you can find me on Facebook and all that as Devonta Davis. All my social media is about the same.
Good deal, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you for jumping on the show, coming in and giving us a little bit of your time. Man, all the best to you this season. I'm going to be rooting for you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
You too.
And that'll do it for episode 251 of Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. Thank you to all of our listeners. And again, be sure to download and subscribe to the podcast. Apple Podcast and Spotify listeners, rate and review the show. And everyone, follow Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club on Facebook and Tiger Talk 1400 on Instagram and Twitter. We're looking to do some big things with this platform to aid the athletics department, and it all starts with you downloading, subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show. And tell every Tiger that you know. We're on all podcast outlets, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and so on. And we'll be posting each episode on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. As always, thanks for your support. Go Tigers. Hashtag I believe. Hashtag the I love.